Thank you for listening to the Tattness podcast on the Tattness Co. Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A Mercedes kind of sentiment, luxury and trust in me to honor the free we all should be in. Sees my sundial burst into yin and yang, rain left me and you.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Tattness podcast. It's your boy, and I got a lot of news for you before I get into this guest. You probably haven't heard, unless you follow me on social media, of course. So for those of you that have not heard, that don't follow me on social media, I don't know why the fuck you don't, but whatever, man. It's all good. It's all good. I won't fault you for it. Then you probably haven't heard the news that November 7th, things are changing around here on the Tattness podcast Uncensored. We've been picked up by a production company, and we're going to be going live from that point on. So if you come on to YouTube, the YouTube channel, the Tattness Podcast YouTube channel, you can catch us there live Thursdays, and that'll be Thursday every week. We'll be doing one show a week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's 10 p.m. Atlantic time for me, but that's fine. I love it. And so it'll still be an hour-long show. I promise you guys, look, man, everyone's a little bit concerned, like, oh, no, now you're selling out and you're going to change so much and blah, 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 blah. No. First of all, it's a partnership that allows me to do things live and have more hands on deck with the production of it all, so I don't have to worry about all the editing and bullshit. It allows me to interact with my fans more, and lets you all talk to me and communicate with me while I do the show, and allows you to, relay some questions from my guests in the chat room and talk amongst yourselves. So that's cool, and I think that's the way to go at this point. So that's the only thing that's going to change. I'm not selling out. I'm not letting other people control my fucking show and change the format and all this bullshit. I'm not going to become all gimmicky and all that crap. It's a fucking talk show, and that's what it's going to be. So, like I said before, the second I stop enjoying something or someone tries to, anytime, people think that, some big corporation now fucking tells Joe Rogan what he can and can't say and bullshit like that. That's not my deal, okay? That's not what I do. I do my show the way I do my fucking show. It's my show at the end of the day. I started this sumbitch from the ground up, and it'll stay that way. And to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to the live change. I was thinking about it for quite some time and thought, man, I really got to get around to it. And so that's the only change, man. At the end of the day, I got to protect what's mine. It's my fucking creative work that I started. It's my art. I started this from the ground up long ago, and it's gonna maintain what made it successful. At the end of the day, you don't fix what's not broken. You don't change what made it successful. And so don't worry about all that bullshit. And I'm telling you right now, man, everything's gonna be the same, and we're gonna talk to guests. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna fucking do whatever I want, say whatever I want. That's not changing. So have no fear. That will stay the same. It's just going to be a live format that allows you all to talk to each other, allows you to talk to me. But for those of you that don't want to do that, there will still be the same download audio-only version in all the same formats and platforms that you've been getting it from before. So don't worry about that. You're just going to hear on the show me talking to guests as well as communicating with the chat room. So that might be cool for you. It might let you see how cool it can be to be part of that chat room and get to know people. So, and trust me, with this, you'll never know who you might find in the chat room. There could be some big names up in there shooting the breeze. I'm friends with so many damn people. So, other good news, if you have not heard yet, yeah, shout out to the Sumner Twins Productions. I've been cast for a horror movie for probably 2021 filming, if everything goes well with the borders. And from what I hear, there may be other roles coming too. So I'm going to be a lead role in a horror film. And it'll be filming in Denver, Colorado, to my understanding, in 2021, if all goes well. and I'm looking forward to it. I now am on IMDb for this show, for myself personally, and for the documentary. So there's a few pages on IMDb you can find me. Go rate the show if you can, and follow it, and be kind in your ratings, man. Come on, it's your boy. I appreciate you guys, and for following my show and supporting every fucking career path that I have taken and making these things possible. I appreciate y'all, and big things are coming. So, on to my guest today, Kadrolsha Ona Carole, who is the queen of paranormal. And you know what really burns my ass is she has her own comic book based on her. I don't have a fucking... Y'all know I love art, and I don't have no damn comic book based off me yet. That really chaps my ass. That brings my piss to a boil. No, it doesn't. It's cool. It would be super sweet, though, wouldn't it? But she's like, paranormal investigator, a medium, and all sorts of shit, man. She's done it all. So we get into a really good conversation. I think you're going to dig it. So wait no longer, man. I ain't going to keep you. Let's check this out.
All right. How the hell are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I feel like I got hit by a truck, honestly.
Really? Why?
The gym, just, it's leg day. And that always, the worst is going down the damn stairs after that because your legs feel like jello.
That's true. That's true. I run in the morning and I try to stretch a bit, but there are days I don't have time. I just get out there and run. And I come back an hour later, my legs really, I'm not going to say they tighten up, but they feel like you said, like jello, almost like that. I feel you that way. That's for sure.
Yeah. I usually when I do my cardio, I do fasted cardio because it's way more effective.
Yeah.
And it takes it out of you. I do an hour of it.
Whoa, that's something.
You have to. I mean, but it works so well. And it's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just end up sweating like a bastard. Oh my God. Yeah, because I was asked, I'm 6'5", 265 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
I was asked if I would be interested by a few people, Jimmy Starr being one, if I'd be interested in playing a horror movie killer in a movie.
Sure.
So I was like, sure. But me being me, I challenged myself. I'm like, let's shoot for 285. So now I'm lifting extra in the gym and just really putting in work. So it's been painful.
I've worked with Lou Ferrigno. So he's a great guy and very muscular. And I know that he's done a lot of movies and things. You know that. And
I love that guy.
Jimmy Starr is a great producer. He's a great PR guy. And if he's got a part for you, believe me, you're headed for stardom. I would take that damn part and fly. That's what I would do.
Oh, yeah. I told him anytime. It's right up my alley. I love horror movies. So, and to get to pretend to kill people, it's different.
Do that in my mind all the time, honey. There's nothing wrong with it.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno. I love that guy. And a lot of people don't know. It's actually really cool. He was doing search and rescue for quite some time.
Yeah. He's a decent guy. We've chatted up a bit, and it's very hard when you work in the conventions to actually have time to sit and chat. But then again, a lot of the people at the Comic Cons, they come to me and they want to do like a private ghost hunt, and I do a lot of those where we don't even sign NDAs because someone wants, we don't talk about it. We're all trustworthy, and if you're not worth your word, you're truly worth nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so they trust me, and I have had fabulous stars, and we've had experiences like you wouldn't believe, and we've just had a great time. And that's when we let our hair down and we can chit chat and have some fun. But usually on the convention floor itself, it's a little bit busy. We're all there trying to make a dollar, to pay those bills. And, and with me, I give a percentage always to food pantries and animal shelters and the like.
I love that. That's awesome. I know this may sound weird to some people, but ghost hunting has to be a lot of damn fun.
Well, if done right, yeah. I mean, if I kind of like been there and done that, a lot of things for many years. I used to do the events where they have you in like cattle and they move you around from room to room. And I'm thinking, this has gotta be, I did that with the ghost hunters and ghost adventures and ghost everybody about 10, 15 years ago. And no, not 15. So 10, 12 years ago. And that was a lot of fun, but I thought, geez, there's got to be a better way to give people a big bang for their buck. So I actually had a 19-room estate that we were living in for a while, and I turned that into a really ghost palace where I would cook the dinner and my kids would serve it, and we would have ghost lectures, have people come in and lecture, and we'd keep it small, and we'd keep the price like $35. I mean, that's like unheard of, and everybody else is charging like $200. But I wanted people to see it as it's happening in real time and not being jammed into little rooms going here and there. I really wanted them to have a different feel. So I took a different approach, and my whole game is to share my knowledge. Yeah, hey, we all like to make money, let's face it. But I'm not going to rip you off. I mean, we can have spaghetti dinner and salad. That doesn't cost much. And then, we do our things, and I pay the guests that the speakers that come. And it was a lot of fun. Now I tried, trying to think how long ago it was. Maybe it was before the pandemic. So let's say a year ago, I said, I really want to do a small event again. And so I threw it up there. Let's have a small event. Within 1 week, the place called me and said that they not only sold those tickets, but they had a waiting list, and they were so afraid that people would come and go all over the parking lot for this, because I've never not had a sold out event. They're very popular. And we actually had to cancel the event, not because of lack of ticket sales, but because of too much interest and too much brouhaha, going on, that it all of a sudden became a huge liability for the establishment. So we had to pull it. And maybe someday I can privately invite people. I would never charge them. We could do like a fun hunt like that. I'm all about sharing knowledge and getting to the masses the best way that I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always found the idea of doing that to be pretty fascinating. I thought it has to be kind of cool, But at the same time, I would imagine, and I know it's hard for people to grasp this concept, but there's got to be a point, like you would understand it because you're doing it, but there's got to be, for the outsiders, they probably wouldn't understand this, but there's got to be a point where you do see enough things that it doesn't even surprise you anymore or like interest you. It's kind of the same old.
I would have to, well, because I love it so much and I've been involved all my life, it's not that way for me anymore. It gives me an opportunity to stop and turn to whoever we're with doing this and to explain it thoroughly, because this is what you're looking for. You're looking for these things to happen so you can explain it to people in the general public that have never experienced it. And I never get tired of it. I mean, for shits and giggles, I'm doing EVPs at night, trying to talk to somebody answer me. And I'm always like, I just like goosebumps all over the place. And yeah, I really enjoy the paranormal, but I like to teach the different aspects of the paranormal to the public and give them a real representation of it, not something you see on TV that you film for 5 to 8 days in the same clothes and you're calling it one evening. That's not real. That's not real. I'm giving them real. And they all seem to like it, but the shows on TV, they're cool. If you want a good laugh or whatever, it's mindless entertainment. And you may get interested in ghost hunting through them. And if you do, then find a great group that's educated in the ways of the paranormal the correct way. And then you'll have an amazing time. And then you can share your knowledge as well.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because I just recently had Debbie Perkins on.
I know Debbie Perkins. I mentored her for many years, and I had her actually as one of those guests that came to the events to speak. Highlighted other individuals and let her speak. and I hired her on for Paranormal 13 News special reports. And Paranormal 13 News is a program that cannot be canceled. Our contract runs well out 12 years on the Galaxy Global Television Network. So, yeah, I know her real well. That's
Yeah, she was a sweetheart. And I would have to say that was the first invitation I ever got to come out and actually do a ghost investigation. I was like, that's cool.
Oh, you better, watch out for her house. It is haunted. In fact, we were doing a lot when we were shooting that first Paranormal 13 News. I came up and I gave her a whole bunch of gear so she could actually do this on her own. Because in order to compete, you need things. You can't just I don't hold my cell phone up, whatever. But you really need to have high def equipment. I have 4K equipment. I left everything there as a gift so she could continue to film. But her house is it's haunted. That's just the way it is. It's an old farmhouse. It's gorgeous, and I've been in there and again, yeah, because we're friends. So yeah, it's just fun to have fun with a haunted house. I got a haunted place here, and yeah, I have a lot of celebrity friends come and will hunt up the place.
I love that you mentioned your shows because I used to watch them all the time. But you're absolutely right. You have to take it for what it is.
Yeah,
that's entertainment.
yes,
There's a reason why they see something, but the camera never gets it.
right.
Because it's for entertainment.
And people want to be scared. They want, like when they go to those events and stuff, they want to see something. They want to be scared. They want to watch a TV show. They want to see them catch a ghost. You don't catch a ghost. What are they? Don't come out, boo on command? Come on. That's ridiculous. So you can consolidate after so many days, but to make it look like it's one night, that's get off that platform. That's not right,
Exactly. The one thing they don't teach on that show is how to have respect for what you're doing and how to protect yourself.
True. True. Absolutely. I do a lot of things quite different. Let's just say that. And I've taken what I have cultivated over the years and turned it into a trademark and best move I ever made. And I've also diversified and become a superhero with the character Queen of the Paranormal. First person in comic book history to be a superhero doing what she does in real life between the pages of a comic book. This is called indisputable. If it was undisputable, people could dispute it, but you cannot dispute this one. The facts are the facts. The problem is I'm a girl and I am alive and I'm not a made-up character. But we've got a lot of groundwork to cover. We've got a lot of hot projects out there. I'm also the face of Airport Television Services, which is Airport TV, and I do a lot of PSAs, and you'll see me in those. And I also do a program called Supernatural News Bullets, and that particular program encompasses Azazel, definitions of different supernatural things. Azazel is the Bible scapegoat, and I would do a minute clip on that, then a minute clip on something else, or the Talisan, which is a ghost that hides in attics and barns and eats little kids. And you know what? That's cool because my grandson watched it, and now he won't go in the attic, so he's well behaved. Scaring the kids. But those programs are actually out on Airport TV, and they're also going to be seen, and we just got a contract for, I'm not going to say the name of the service station, all over Canada. And after January, all my things and PSAs and things that I do, including Hollywood Entertainment News, I'm the host of that television show. That's all going to be again, in these cars, what do they call them? Smart cars, electric cars. They have little digital screenage things there. We start in 100 screening units, the electric chargers over in Washington, D.C. after January. So I've been able to take the paranormal and to not just stay on cable, but to take it more globally and into international airports, into comic books, into just about everything I do for sharing knowledge and whatnot. Now, the comic books are real experiences. It's not something made up. Haunted Tales of Bachelor's Grove, the first one made me that comic book status. The other one's a little more fictional, and that's okay as long as the first one wasn't. And then all my other comic books after that, including the one with Jimmy Starr and Ron Russell and Eileen Shapiro, those are all real. In fact, they went viral. That was so cool. We had 2 shows with them at Kings Park. Eileen she's well endowed. Just no way. She got big breasts, and she got stuck on a fence with her big breasts. And we're all laughing our heads off. It was hysterical. She's such a lovely woman. So we captured that in a comic book. Her boobs on the fence, and it's an adult-ish comic book. We talked about glory holes and grinder reps and every other darn thing. It was wild, all right. And now we're going into our second one. So it was quite popular. And then we got the movie, Celebrity Ghost Hunters, the movie. We're scripting that now. And so time moves forward, and even during a pandemic.
Absolutely. It's interesting that I had somebody from Hollywood Entertainment News add me on social media. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I was like, that's cool.
Well, Hollywood Entertainment News magazine, HollywoodEntertainmentNews.com, is the website. They have a Facebook site. I host the television show, which is a little more mild-mannered, let's say, than the actual Hollywood gossip where some guy that's old was a star and he's walking down the street in the Pens or something. I wouldn't cover that, but I would cover our positive things that celebrities do, positive things from stars that have passed away that they did that no one realizes. Theirs is that if you go to Hollywood Entertainment News.com and click on HEN, that's the television show. I have one clip up there. A production had to stop because of COVID, but it was like a teaser clip about dreams, celebrity dreams. And we've all heard of Lucille Ball, but very few can even remember Carole Lombard. Carole Lombard was married to Clark Gable, and she was best friends with Lucille Ball. And so Carole Lombard died in a plane crash. And shortly thereafter, Lucy was presented with this opportunity to go to TV instead of movies. And she didn't know what to do. So she went to bed, and her friend Carole Lombard came to her in her sleep. Now, mind you, this is a true story. And the dream was, take the TV gig. Take the TV gig. And because of that dream and what her friend Carole Lombard said to her, the rest is history. And I Love Lucy was born. So a lot of people don't realize that. So I try to swing the paranormal into it, but also something fun and exciting as well.
I actually watched your YouTube video where you talked about that story, but a lot of listeners probably never heard it. So I wanted to hear that again for their sake, especially. That's a cool story.
Yeah, that's a cool story. And there are many others like that. For example, I haven't done it yet, but I will. It's about Curly from the Three Stooges, Moe's brother. Now, Moe, Shemp, and Curly were all brothers. The three. Larry Fine was not a brother. But Larry married Houdini's daughter.
Oh.
People don't know that either. So going back to Curly, a lot of the animals you see in the Three Stooges belonged to Curly. Curly was an animal advocate, and he raised hundreds of animals, and he helped hundreds of animals. Very generous man. And a lot of people don't realize that, and I'm going to bring that to light because I think it's important. You know, they laughed with the Three Stooges, we cried with them, and now you can realize, that these guys did have lives, and they had remarkable lives to be able to give and to save animals. So
that's amazing. Going back to the Hollywood Entertainment News thing,
sure.
Because you mentioned it's funny, I just got published in a bunch more things, And then someone from there added me on social media. So I thought that's interesting. But I want to give a disclaimer now to my listeners. If you see me on the news walking around in Depends, mind your business.
I will go out with a camera for that one. I'll make the exception to the rule. I'll blast it everywhere, making fun of you.
Trying to get published, and damn it, mind your business.
Oh my God, that's too funny. Yeah, so, Hollywood Entertainment News. I don't have much to do with the magazine. I know a couple of producers, but that's like a whole separate entity. And my thing is a television show. It's kind of confusing, but it'll be all right in time. We're going to start production. I'm hoping again next week. We've decided to refine the format to smaller clips and stack them on VOD, video on demand, because the longer sessions and all of this during COVID, just going to take too much time in the studio. They don't want you there with this, that, the other thing. So we're just going to maximize what we can in a short period of time. And we'll start that next week. Or after Halloween, depends. When I get back off the broomstick, let's see.
Where I'm from originally in Toronto, a lot of people don't realize it's actually home to a very interesting experiment that was done.
Tell me about it.
Very, very long ago, a university and some paranormal investigators and psychologists decided to create this experiment of thought forms.
Mm-hmm.
So they created this character, a group of students created this being. They gave him a name, a backstory, a whole history, a description of what he looks like and everything. And they spread it throughout college as if it's real.
Oh!
And
I know what it is. Go ahead.
Right. So
what it is.
Right. So the whole year, people started to believe in it so much, give it more detail, more backstory. Then they started seeing him because they believe it's real. It like became legitimate.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you believe in that kind of thing?
Listen, entertainment sells, okay? Whether to believe in something, if they didn't edit it like crazy, I would say, hey, it's there. I know I did 85 Cece the Huntress shows. I played the part of Cece Carol because no one could pronounce Kadrolsha Ona Carole. And so we just shortened it to a Cece, made it more palatable for everybody. And we ran the camera until tape ran out. There was no editing at all. And we started that 10 years ago, moving it forward. We stopped about 5 years ago. So we did that for quite a while. But our things were real, things that you actually saw with your own eyes or heard with your own ears. They were there. And if they weren't there, then they weren't real. So I would have to say with movies like that, if they didn't edit that footage, well, why wouldn't it be real if they didn't edit it? But then again, this was for mass hysteria and to feed into the program and to get everybody interested in it. And, and I do know that they made that just at a very fraction of the cost that they would make like a major movie production. And they did good. They brought home the bank. Good for them.
I didn't even know that there was a movie. I just read the article about it happening in Toronto many, many years back. And doing enough research, I kind of put it together. Thought if you, I think everybody at this point has heard of the concept of law of attraction,
right?
Where if you believe you're going to be wealthy enough, it'll come to you, kind of thing. And I feel that's very similar to the concept of thought form, creating reality.
A self-fulfilled prophecy, almost like that.
Right. And
I like the power of positive thinking. If you can do it, just imagine you can, and then go out there and do it. Don't take no for an answer. Don't be a bitch, and be nice to people. And they get a lot of fun, and you get a lot of opportunities on top of it all. But make sure you're always good to your word. I cannot stress that enough, because again, if you're not worth your word, what are you worth? I mean, my kids grew up knowing if mom promised them something, mom kept the promise. If I couldn't promise, I would say, I don't think I can promise, but I will try. That was the alternative, instead of whipping up, oh, I promise I'll do it. And then you realize, oh my God, that ain't happening. So, yeah, stay good to your word.
Yep, and I agree with that a billion %. And my personal assistant even said recently, you know, no matter how crazy something is, when you say you're going to do it, you do it.
Yeah.
Even if it seems like impossible for somebody, you don't stop. And it's just how I've always been.
No, you don't. You just keep going. And, you know, it's such a struggle now with the pandemic and people. And also it's very hard for animals. I put up a post today that, you know, the animals are suffering too, with me holding when I go and donate a lot of things. When I go shopping, I get a couple cans of this, a bag of that, and then I create like a stockpile. And people have been very happy with that stockpile, because you can actually help your neighbors, whether it's, you know, food, staple products, or things for the pets, you know. Or, I mean, I don't always give to nonprofits, because there are some, you know, private, you know, families and stuff that just need stuff. So you have to give. Well, you don't have to, but I do. I feel like I have to. They've given a lot to me by supporting me and shoveling my driveway when my back hurt and things like that. So I'm here to reciprocate.
See, you're a lot like me in that sense. Ever since I made it, became successful, I've always been doing that. Things like that for my son who passed, I do it in his honor, and help children, you know, that can't afford Christmas, because families can't do it.
Right.
And,
right.
you know, with the condition that he had, he wouldn't be able to appreciate toys anyway.
Yeah.
So in his honor, I would give them, you know, gifts.
Yeah.
And
you're a wonderful man for doing that. God bless you. You're wonderful.
It's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? And every year now I'm starting a charity for the condition that he had, because it doesn't get enough research to find a cure.
And what condition did he have?
It's called NKH. It's very, very rare.
Okay.
So it doesn't get the attention because how rare it is. It's not the priority for their funding.
Right. And that's sad. That's very sad, because everybody in everybody's life should be a priority. Not just because this one's got a lot of funding money, or this one's got more airtime on TV, or the situation affected a congressman's son or whatever. It should never be that way. It should be, children should never have to suffer like this, period. Or even adults and the elderly. I mean, we're America. What the heck's going on? You know, it's just crazy.
Exactly. So
I don't get into politics. You can call me later, I will.
I'm the same way. I know people try to escape that, and I always say, if you want to hear that crap, go to CNN. You know,
I don't listen. You know what? I don't have TV on. I have to work to make an income, and it's tough in a pandemic. I mean, I didn't do unemployment. I didn't do anything, and I still managed to help people in my neighborhood and animals. And you can do it. I've taken on 3-4 different types of jobs, whether it's driving like medical supplies or auto parts or prescriptions or anything they'll call me to go do, and I'll do that. I edit clips for the news, believe it or not, and I actually film for the news. I don't care who I'm filming for. Could be MSNBC, CNN, it could be Fox, it could be anything. We're right down the street from an ABC affiliate, and I've given them plenty of my footage. And I've done this over the years. My work is good. I don't film it with a bias slant, no matter how I may feel. I don't. I've worked on both spectrums of the presidential campaigns. When Obama was running and first started running and come to New Hampshire, they contacted me for women in the media to be able to help film this and that. Fine. Duncan Hunter, same thing. He contacted me for women in the media and to film and do all this kind of stuff. And they liked me because I didn't film with a slant. Everything was not prejudiced or biased or partisan. It was equal. It was damn good footage and made them look the best that they could at the time. Because you know yourself, there's ways of taking a picture and making the room look full or the footage great when there's really nobody there. Okay, how am I going to pull this one together? But yeah, I don't think it's fair to bring politics into things that I do. I'm a healer, and I wouldn't want politics to be brought towards me. So I'm like apolitical. I mean, I love politics, but I'm not political.
It makes sense because
Yeah.
it's very divisive,
Yeah.
which is counterproductive to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to heal people and talk about different things and issues and have fun with it. And you can't do that if you just cancel out half your audience. You just can't. You have to welcome everybody and heal everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I don't have my point of view. Okay, I'm just telling you that. I'm human.
I'm sure people think that Canada probably has like ghosts that just apologize all the time. But
No. I think of Canada. My family came from Canada to Newport, Vermont. And being Newport, Vermont is the home of the Abenaki Native American Indians, and which I am one. I am part Abenaki from Newport, Vermont. So my relatives came from Canada. I'm very fond of Canada because it's in my blood too, you know. So not that I think we're all a great big happy world, we're not, but I am part of that. And my bloodline is, so I embrace it all. I like going to visit, and I have friends there in Toronto, and yeah, it's all cool.
I spent some time living in the Niagara Falls area.
Oh, I go there too. Oh my gosh, yeah, I like that area.
I was in a town outside of Niagara Falls that this is very bizarre. I noticed when I was walking to the mall one day, because it was nearby, there was a house that had the same windows and the same like structure as the Amityville house.
Yeah, yeah.
And right beside that house was a church.
Weird.
And I was like, that church is there to keep that house in line because
Maybe. Hey, you never know. Sometimes there's no such thing as a coincidence. You know what I mean?
I thought,
I went to Niagara Falls. I brought my daughter, and what we remember most was we went to Arby's on the strip there, and we got roast beef sandwiches and stuff. And excuse me, and we eat it in the car. And I'm thinking, this tastes like a ham sandwich. I never got over that. I was very upset. Roast beef that tastes like ham. But maybe they changed your recipe because it doesn't taste like ham. Now it actually tastes like roast beef. So maybe I was tired of driving 18 hours. I don't know.
that's our new pitch.
It wasn't good.
That's our new pitch now. Come to Canada. We have Arby's.
We have Arby's. Well, they got a new steak sandwich, which I had the other day. And I must tell you, it was really good. I was surprised. Very surprised. In fact, so surprised I ate the whole thing, all the roll, everything. And normally I throw half the bread away. But I ate it all.
Arby's better realize I expect sponsorship now, damn it.
We have an Arby's at the mall, and that's the only one I know of, other than way out in Buffalo, New York. I know that one. And there was one on the way home from Parsippany, New Jersey. I think it was in Sleepy Hollow, New York, that there was an Arby's. I don't know where any others are, except for those locations.
I love that name, Sleepy Hollow, New York.
That's a real place, you know.
That's so cool.
When I drove by it and I saw the signs, I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not going there. And I'm a queer parent at all. There.
Unless they have Arby's.
Oh my goodness.
Unless they have Arby's, then you'll go.
Well, yeah, you get off the highway for a second, get that Arby's, and it's really good. But then you got to go over to Dairy Queen to get the strawberry milkshake with the whipped cream. Yep, I have my whole list of things that I do when I come back from, depending which Comic Con it is. I do that. I don't go to Paracons. I haven't done a Paracon in 5 or 6 years. I felt I was spinning my wheels. You can only sing so long to the choir. You can't get out of the church. So I had the opportunity to step out of that more into a national thing with Comic Cons, pop culture, and then going international with all the other things I do. My marketing company is the Cast Firm, and they market me through digital signage throughout Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Germany, you name it. They've got me up there with my paranormal stuff and all the other things that I do, and PSAs, public service announcements for the different organizations. Yeah.
Going back to with paranormal investigating, now that technology has changed so much, I think it's cool that they actually have the EVP monitors now that are like in real time, rather than going back after the fact and having to listen to it.
Go ahead.
That's got to be a relief in some sense, I would imagine, because you never know what's being said to you, and if it's something you need to know right then and there, at least you have that luxury.
Yeah, you'll get to know. I know in 2007, I put an adaptation on EVPs, and it's called Instant EVP Playback. It's not the real-time one. That's an adaptation on what I did. What I did was they had these little reel-to-reel like tapes, little tape you put in the cassette, and I would ask like 3 questions, and I rewind it and play it back. And then I did it with digital. And where is my ghost bag? Hold on, I'll get my ghost bag. This is it. Woo. Let me see. It's my ghost bag. My dowsing rods, everything else I do, I travel with this stuff. So I have in here all my stuff. And I think I got my recorder in here. But this is one of the original recorders I would use, this little thing here. And I would talk into it and ask a couple questions and click, play it back instantly. And that's what I did. People started using it on TV shows and would never credit me. And they just, again, because, it's a male-dominated industry. But boy, I definitely take credit. Give credit to people that are due credit, or I'll just take it from you. And I've done that, and pretty strongly, by the way. And I still teach and protect myself and the things that I've created. And I'm in the Paranormal Hall of Fame for creating that instant EVP playback, which is essential to every paranormal investigator that's doing things. And that was me, no one else. And people go, oh yeah, no. I'm going, we'll find a timestamp thing earlier. And I'll just say, hey, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, hey, I'm wrong. I thought I was right and wrong. But no one has been able to find it. 2007, go ahead, babies, go try to find it. You won't be able to. So that's the kind of stuff I do. I like the EVPs. I like it when they talk to you and they answer a direct question. When we did that ghost hunt with Jimmy Starr, Ron Russell, and Elaine Shapiro, the strangest thing happened is Jimmy was asked, or maybe I asked, do you know who we are? Or something like that. And I clicked it and it played back, and guess what it said?
Uh-oh.
Any idea what it said?
Probably had a pretty good idea.
It has freaked everybody out. It said Jimmy Starr.
Wow.
Standing in front of everybody, we did it, played it back instantly, Jimmy Starr. That's who. So you've got to realize that the energy from the past has an intellect. And they're listening. And because we don't call him Jimmy all day, Ron, Jimmy, Elaine, and a couple of rock stars that came with us. That was crazy. A couple of them started crying. They had to be let out of the building. Hey,
Wow.
big on stage, but not on ghost hunting. And we had a ball, and yeah, we had a real good time. And so that was astonishing with the Jimmy Starr. And we put that in the comic book. What we tried to do is take those two hunts that went viral and combine them into one story that was true in the Ghost Hunters celebrity ghost hunting comic book.
That's awesome. And you know, yeah, the reason I mentioned that is because I never understood the idea of like getting all the EVP, then going back somewhere else after the fact and listening to it. Because imagine if what you're missing is that something wants you gone, like not.
Well, I want to know like right away, so I could avoid it. But there are a lot of people like me that you get a sensation like, don't go there. Maybe you should leave, and you just listen to that. Don't try to stick it out, because you don't know what could happen. I mean, you just don't know. It could be an intuition warning, or it could be a spirit warning you. It could be any of those. I always tell people, listen to your gut instinct. I used to be a cop. I was a detective on Unit 1, the gang task force. And I often use my gut. We all did, because it worked. It won't see, you're born with it. And people try to rely on other things. And you know yourself, you're walking down the street, and there's a person coming this way, and you find yourself with all the room in the world. You get off the sidewalk, walk up and around. Why'd you do that? That's because that energy did not meld with yours. Something was not there, and in your subconscious, you got up and detoured around, or you ducked into a store, or you put your eyes down, you're looking in another, something's bothering you with that energy. Not all energy melds with other energy. I mean, what I may pick up as good energy may not like you, because you got to remember the energy from the past was a person, and we don't like all people. Different personalities, different, hang-ups they have, and they still have them when they're dead. So that's what you're running into.
What are your thoughts on, I can't remember the name of the damn device, but there's one that I guess through energy, it can actually spit out words from, like, in an EVP.
An ovulus?
I guess it is, yeah. Where I've seen it used a few times where they'll ask a question and then a word will come through, and it sounds very robotic, but they believe it.
They have that. They also have things called ghost boxes or flame boxes, stuff like that. I actually, you know what? I actually have a couple of apps. One is the actual ghost box type thing with all the frequencies and stuff like that. Then I have one that runs right off the phone that will just take what's in the room and start spitting stuff out. And I'll tell you, I'm fascinated by them. I did a ghost box thing while I was speaking in German. And we were listening to American radio, going around, it spins and picks up the signals. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, they were answering the questions like, 9 brotos. And you'd get back, 9, like that, which means no brotos, no burnt toast. Do you want burnt toast? No. 9. And so I did this experiment. I did it live, and then of course we did tape it, and so we used it for a show. People don't realize that when you go into an old graveyard in the United States, not everybody spoke English. And why are your EVPs in like English? I don't know. Mine are not. I'm trying directly to contact someone from the 1700s. It could be a maid, it could be anybody. They would have an Irish brogue, they would have an English accent, they would have something proper, and they would speak in a different type of dialect than we are used to speaking in. In fact, when I did that show in German, I was working with a linguist who knew the language at that time period to be able to give it to me so I could present it to the spirits of the actual time period we were looking for to see if we could get an answer. And it worked. So same thing with Spanish or Polish, Moja drogajacia kocham, I'm Polish, and down the like that. So I just find it kind of weird if you're in an old graveyard and you think you're in contact with a spirit from 1700s and they're talking in like hip hop slang. That's not right. That you picked up somebody else. You did. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I know there's mixed thoughts on whether or not those things are accurate. But I saw something fascinating. I watched a video.
Mm-hmm.
They were using that and they were investigating red foxes out.
Okay.
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that I like the ghost boxes. Because all of a sudden, out of the blue, it throws out something to you that sounds mechanical, not like everything else that's thrown out there, and they're answering your question. It is so bizarre. We did a ghost box in a granite tunnel, and nothing's supposed to work. And for some weird reason, it was working. It was picking up a frequency, and I was trying to talk in Spanish because the girls that were there with the pirates were Spaniards. And so I tried to, and nothing was happening, nothing would happen. And then all of a sudden, Spanish was coming out of the machine. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking like, that's really weird because it hit a nerve right there, you know, and they came back with Spanish. So I thought that was cool. So I like those things. I really do. I think they're fun. They're fascinating. You can use anything. There's no right or wrong as long as you get a response.
Yeah, I found them to be out of everything I've seen, I thought those would probably be the handiest thing. Because when you hear the word leave.
Oh, get the hell out of there. I mean, really, who do I hang around? Yeah, that's how I am. I'd rather just walk out, babe, no way, you know, I'm not going to, test fate. No, I like doing what I'm doing. But sometimes they just might want privacy or, I don't know, and I'm not going to tangle with that because, things could happen. I don't even want to think about it. You may get dizzy. And you may fall and bang your head. It could be as simple as that. Because sometimes when that energy impedes in your energy, it changes your chemistry ever so slightly that you become off balance. You could cry. And then accidents happen. That's why you don't go ghost hunting alone. You always have somebody with you. In the general public, I went alone, but I had a cameraman with me, so I really wasn't alone. That's another thing that blows my mind. These shows, oh, we're all alone. Well, who's filming?
Like they don't.
Who's got the 3 different cameras? You got 3 people filming. You're not alone. And then you have the sound guy, and then you have the guy with the boom mic, the grip guy, key grip, and okay, now you got 5 people in there with the 3 of you. You got now how many? You got 8 people in a room. You're not alone. This is stupid. I'm turning the channel right now. I do usually.
I agree with that completely. It's like that's when it's strictly for entertainment. They're not trying to be believable.
Yeah. But listen, if you go up to Deb's or ghost hunting, she will let me know, and I'll be there. I'm gonna go up there so I can meet you, and
that'll be a blast for sure.
Yeah, your face. You don't shave it by then.
I'll let it grow back just for you.
Okay, great, thank you.
I'm part Irish in my heritage, so it comes in like I'm weird like that. I got brown hair, and this grows in like blonde and red, and my eyebrows are black, so I have every natural hair color.
I know blondie. I don't know. I'm so pale. It's so funny because my daughter is spitting image of me, and she's all dark eyes, darker skin, dark hair. Her father was Greek. And then her son, my grandson, looks just like me, looks like her. He's got blonde hair, blue eyes. He came from the Polish line of the family. And so you never know. You never know. My family itself, my father had a fiery red hair, Newport, Vermont, known for that. And the Abenaki, his father had it as well. And his brother had it. And I ended up with this, like a towhead type thing. And that's just the way it goes. My other siblings are all, because of the Native American or we also have African American descent in their generations down. They're all darker skin and like curly hair. I got this. That's it. I do curl it sometimes. But if I curl it and go somewhere, people don't like that. They write on Facebook, why did you curl your hair? I wanted it to be straight. And I'm like, oh, get off it. Come on. I wanted to look girly.
How is Ron with the whole thing? Because when I was on their show, and immediately, right out the gate, he hits me with some shit. And I'm like, okay, here we go. It's Ron. Of course, I expect it. Does he do the same shit with ghosts too? Does he just like bust their balls too?
Ron really knows what he's doing when it comes to the afterlife. He does. I mean, he knows how to use the dowsing rods. He knows how to speak to them. He knows how to feel them when they're in the room. I mean, he's a professional when it comes to ghost hunting. A lot of people don't know that, but I mean, it's always good to learn. You can learn something from everybody, even the least experienced. But Ron, boy, not only did we could learn from him, but we could also learn from his comedy. He does, like, you know, his comedy is sensational. He's just so freaking funny, and it's boom, 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 right on time. So I watch it because I like to be funny at events and things like that. And I've done a lot of comedy with some comedy giants, actually, like with Phyllis Diller. And oh my God, I worked with Alan Kaiser from Mama's House and YouTube. It was 2006, November 4th. I was the highest viewed comedian. I did a show called The Everything Show with the name CC Carroll, and we did a lot of comic relief and things like that. And but to learn from a master like Ron, it was pretty exciting because I watched him. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's got that timing down. It's so natural. You know, he just knows when to execute the words, and this is an art form. It truly is, and he nails it. So yeah, he is. You know, he's handsome too. Oh my God, you know, he's gay, but what the heck? I just think, you know, whatever. I'm human.
I love that dude so much, man. He's awesome.
Oh, he's great. And of course, Jimmy, I mean, he was holding the camera thing, you know, trying to work and stuff like that. And we were laughing. And so we're driving around. In the meantime, I got so car sick that when we stopped the car, I was throwing up in bushes. I was really ill. The kind of wipe your face. Oh my, I got real bad sick. But we put some good shows together, and we formed a kind of lifetime friendship, you know, all of us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I always advocate don't concern yourself too much with how people are towards you. Worry more about what they say behind your back. You know, and I had Jan Birch on my show, and he said to me, he's like, look, man, I got to tell you, Jimmy told me you're the greatest, and I'm going to have such a great time with you. And I was like, damn, that's high praise, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool. And when he was getting off the show, he's like, just so you know, everything Jimmy said was true, and then some. And he's like, I have to come back. He's like, I could have talked to you for 3 hours, but you have another guest. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. That's so cool. But to hear people are like saying really kind things about you, thinking you'll never hear about it, you know, that's cool. That's when you know what someone's really like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because, you know, the thing in life is we're all connected, and especially in the entertainment genre at this level. And I say this level because it's not a local level. This is an international level with Jimmy Starr, Wolf Star, PR. And to work with such grace in the industry, I mean, you're at the top level. You can't get any better. I mean, you just can't. So, and then, of course, I have my marketing firm, which is much different than publicity or PR. And they're wonderful. That's the cast firm. So you put the two together, it's great. But it's nice to hear wonderful things said about you. When I mentor people, I tell them all the papers are going to come out and all these stories are going to come out. When you start believing what they write about you, that's a slippery slope down. Just be careful. Don't feed into it. It's called publicity. Don't walk around going, oh, that's me, oh, you know, because that We have tomorrow we got to go through and something else and something new coming up. You can't live on your laurels. You just can't. You have to create and be good. But to talk behind somebody's back, like to other people, I don't go for that. I don't do it. I try to celebrate people and mentor them, like with Debbie Perkins, pushing her career forward, helping her from, behind the scenes and stuff. That's important. And now, Jimmy Starr being a publicist, this is great for her. And yeah, I just don't like that. I think it's unprofessional. And I've heard it before that somebody wants someone blackballed from interviews. So they're calling all the talent saying, don't have them on your show. No, they're nobody. Don't have them on the show. That is so wrong. I'm like, why would you do that? You just jeopardize yourself from ever being on their show ever again when you did that one. So don't do that one.
To me, the moment you have to do that, they're not nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're all of a sudden a curiosity factor. Oh, let's go to their Facebook page. Like that. Check out how wickedly bad they are,
Well, I mean, to me, too, if they're that much of a threat that you have to tell people not to have them on, then they're obviously not nobody.
Yeah, or that person lacks confidence and doesn't believe in, pushing other people's accomplishments and credits like in front of them. I've never been afraid of that. People would tell me, don't do a show with that person, or don't have her at the event or him at the event talking. They're just going to steal the show. I said, steal the show from who? We're trying to educate the audience. This is not like who's the better thing. Now, and that's why we were always sold out, because it didn't matter. I always put people there. I ran it, and so what? Paid them well. And the audience had a great time and they learned a lot. And that's what's important, is the people got their money's worth, for the ticket price. They learned exactly what we described that they were going to learn. And, like that. So I hope, again, I like to do little events, but maybe like you come up to Debbie's, I'll take the 2-hour drive over there and say hello.
Absolutely. And what you're saying, I feel that's ego driven when someone does that.
Yeah.
Because then they're looking out for themselves instead of the benefit of the event. I don't care who it is. If it's going to make the event more memorable to people, then that's the goal.
Yeah.
It's not about,
idiosyncrasies. What are you going to do? We can't cure everybody. I think sometimes within the paranormal, and you talk to people, you end up being a counselor because you have a good ear and you like to talk. You want to hear from them. You want to learn from them too. But you need to take it serious and advise them to see doctors in a most kind way and to make sure that they really are all right, because what they're seeing or hearing really may not be there. And it could be a lack of medication, or they need a change in medication, or they want 15 minutes of fame and they're just plain making the stuff up. So you have to really go towards, let's get this checked out medically first, and if everything's okay, like we think it is, then we'll move on to the steps that we need to call the information about the haunting or the possession in your home. And that's how I approach it. Science and medicine first, because we don't know what a person's affliction is or what they could be suffering from.
Absolutely. So yeah, at some point I do intend to go out there for that hunting session and see what I can find.
Yeah.
And well, shit. Now I know. Not only do I get to talk to Joseph, I get my stuff played with too. Oh, how you! Oh, how you spoil me!
Oh yeah. You have no idea, sweetheart. No idea. But you will.
It's been a crazy.
Yeah, we're all fun. We're a lot of fun. Debbie's great, and if you did go up there, I'd like to come out and visit. I don't think she want to keep you all for herself. She's married. That would.
If I get out there and the EVP says Arby's, I'm going to know that the dead listen to my show.
You know what? I don't know if there's an Arby's up her way or not, but that would be lunch. We got that out. I gotta Google it. I'm gonna find it out.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah. Well, I have had a blast on your show.
Oh, it's
And
fun.
thank you so very, very much for having me today. And I look forward to hopefully meeting you and definitely being on the radio again someday.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll definitely have to have you come back and we'll do this again. I'm sure you got like 7,000 more shows to do. So,
Oh, God, yes. And actually, I do have one after this. So I'm going to get going so I can kind of maybe fix my hair a little more. And, but I will tell you, if people want to get a hold of me, best place is queenoftheparanormal.com. And in there is all the social media things that you'll be able to see. You'll be able to find out about the projects we're doing. And there's so many more things I have not posted or haven't even put out on Facebook or social media because hey, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I'm not, even though these things that we do, we barter back and forth, sometimes no money at all exchanged, sometimes a little, but there are a lot of people suffering, and so when things get a little better, then we'll start putting more out and stuff like that. I do know people like to live vicariously through celebrities, but I wouldn't want it thrown in my face either. So we just keep some things quiet, and the ones that I can have, like opportunities for people that I could pay them and I could, work with them, those are the ones I release and put out and I help.
that's very well said, because it's true. I mean, I do a lot of cool shit, and some things I just don't think people need to hear about because they're struggling, and it's not
Right.
fair.
I don't think it's fair to talk about your beautiful home or your beautiful this or that or the other damn thing, because there are people that are being evicted from their homes.
Right.
And they had beautiful homes, no matter what size it is, they were just happy there. And now that's been taken away. So we all have to be mindful and pray that we can get through this together and come out the other end whole as we could be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time so much.
I appreciate you getting a hold of me, and please stay in touch.
Hell yeah.
We'll talk soon, okay?
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Bye.
That was Kadrolsha Ona Carole. She was so badass, such a sweetheart, good friend of mine now, which I'm grateful to be able to say. We've become friends, and it seems to be the way with all my guests. It's got to be a good sign, right? So, I hope you're enjoying the last tail end of this Halloween thing. I want to also announce that on the 7th, it's my 100th show, my 100th episode, and I'm bringing on special guests on the live show, the first live show, Jimmy Starr and Ron Russell, who are amazing, very, very dear friends of mine. As you may know, Jimmy Starr is a producer, an actor, a radio show host. The guy's done everything under the sun, a fucking clothing designer. He's been on my show. Ron's been on my show. I've been on their show. They've been so supportive of me, and Jimmy wants me to blow up in this movie industry. So he's making some things happen and wants to put me in some films, and I'm grateful, man. I gotta do this 110%, and quietly retire, I think, from MMA and start acting. So I think it's gonna be a blast. I look forward to speaking with them. They're always a riot. Again, uncensored show. You got Ron on. He's gonna say some hilarious shit. You never know what's gonna come out of his mouth. It's fucking amazing. I love it. And him and I have chemistry. Jimmy and I have chemistry. We both love horror. We both love, all that crazy shit. He's a clothing designer. I fucking design my own clothing line as well. And now we both have the movie thing in common, so that's fucking cool, man. We'll have lots to talk about. And hopefully you guys will join us in the chat room and let us know you're there. Say what's up. Shout out to Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, especially, for being so cool and constantly supporting my show. And among other places, man, you guys are fucking awesome. And me having an Irish heritage, I appreciate the love, man. You guys are amazing. Always in my analytics, just like all these other parts of the world. Millions of fucking listeners, but Ireland always stands out to me, and I love it. So, thank you guys. Hopefully, my Irish people will jump in the chats and let me know they're there. Show some love. I can fucking speak to you personally. It would be nice to see who's all listening, and show some love to you guys for being so great. And it's a big deal, man. 100th show in a fucking year. I've been going hard, so it's going to be nice to kind of pull the reins back a little bit, do 1 day a week live. And of course, like I said, you can still download the way we've been doing it since day one. There will be an audio only version on all the same platforms. Nothing's changing there. And I hope you guys dig that new platform. Every fucking season we gotta up the ante, and January is the new season, right? So we're gonna start a little early and start live and just go hard. And that leaves me a lot of room to get this acting thing under my belt as well, add to my crazy fucking resume. So I appreciate y'all for all the support, and I hope you dig the films I end up in, and I will give it 120% every time. As you know, everything I do 120%. No excuses, no bullshit. Always be the hardest worker in the fucking room, you know, and never be outworked. And just kick ass with everything you do. I hope y'all are being safe out there. Don't fucking get yourselves sick or any of that crazy shit. And take care of yourselves, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully you check out the 100th show. There will be a couple other shows being released before that one. And I've done some guest spots that will be released. I got another guest spot or so coming up. 2 of them, actually. The Danny McDermott show is coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow. It depends when I release this, right? But anyways, you'll see it. Check it out on social media. Check out the Danny McDermott show, and you'll fucking see. But I got a couple other fucking guest spots coming up too. One for the UK. My boys over at Superhero Bar Fight. Shout out to them. And a couple other things. Big surprises. So I appreciate you guys being so supportive and checking out everything I do. Thanks for all the love. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and that way you'll be able to stay up to date on all the live shows, get notifications when I'm going live on Thursdays, and jump in the chat and show some fucking love. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. My phone keeps going off, and I'm fucking up with that again. I owe y'all a beer when I come out to Ireland, especially. Thanks, and I'll catch your asses later.
I will not speak to your smallness, a destruction of the fear in us. I have yet to know what